Hello, thank you for joining me for some pregnancy Yin Yoga. You're going to need some cushions and a chair and a belt for this sequence. So we're going to start with a squatting position, so you'll need a big pile of pillows or cushions or blocks, and if you bring your knees out to the sides, feet turned out, we're going to make sure that we're sitting onto something. So you need to feel that you can sustain this for a few minutes, so you can always build up the pile as long as your hips are a little bit lower than the knees, preferably. You can be much higher than I am. And then if it's comfortable, we're going to lean slightly forwards, bring the elbows to the insides of the knees and the palms together. And then if you rest your forehead onto the fingertips, and you can gently close your eyes and start to breathe a little bit more slowly. So breathing in, and as you breathe out, lengthening the exhalation, just signalling to your nervous system that you're feeling safe and calm, everything's okay. Breathing in through the nose, and let's breathe out through the mouth, relaxing the face, the lips, the jaw, tongue soft in the mouth. So trying to come to the present moment, to the here and now. And if the legs begin to complain a little bit, try and stay with the breath, breathing deeply. Of course, if you become really uncomfortable, you can come out of it, and next time you try the sequence, have a little bit more height underneath the hips. But otherwise, for the next 3 breaths, see if you can stay here, breathing in, and a longer breath out. Okay, so lifting your head, and we're going to bring the knees down to the floor, ready for our next pose, which is the child's pose. So you've got 2 options. Either you can rest over your cushions and pillows that you were just sitting on, and take the knees nice and wide, so you've got room for your bump behind the cushions, and then you can rest so either one side of the face or forehead onto whatever's supporting you. If you've got a big gap between your bottom and your heels, you can always have a cushion to fill the gap, so you've got something to sit back onto. So staying there if you're comfortable. If that's not high enough, you can also lean onto a chair. So again, have your knees wide, leaning forwards onto the chair, have your head supported, and then whichever position you're using, just try to settle in to stillness again. And in this position, you can imagine your belly creating a lovely hammock shape for your baby. So particularly into the 3rd trimester, you're encouraging your baby's back away from your back, encouraging your baby into the optimal fetal position, as it's called. So see if you can drop your awareness from your head down to your heart, from your heart down to your womb and to your baby, and just thinking of this incredible environment that you've created for your baby. All these sounds, the sound of your heartbeat, the sound of the blood pumping in the arteries, the sound of your breath coming in and out of the body, even your digestion gurgling, creates all these rich sounds to reassure your baby. So as you stay here for the next few breaths, really try to imagine that your breath is not only soothing you, but also your baby. You're relaxing together. If you find it's too much on the knees or you've got varicose veins, the next time you do the sequence, have a cushion or 2 cushions in between your feet and your bottom, so you've got a little bit more space behind the knees. Okay, so let's move out of this one. We're going to use the chair this time for everybody. So we're going to bring our legs either side of the chair, and you'll need at least 1 cushion to come underneath the bottom. Because what we want to do is to be able to sit forwards rather than slump back. So if you're rounding the back, you need some more height under your hips. And then we're not really pushing away through the heels, we've got the legs relaxed, and then leaning forward. So you might make a fist with your hands so you can rest your head. If your lower back's really complaining or your legs aren't comfortable, you can have a slight bend in the knees. So that's a modification that you could do, but otherwise try and keep the legs straight and relax forwards in this position. Settling again into stillness. And perhaps you realise that your teeth are clamped together. So separating your teeth, let the jaw release. Perhaps you realise there's an expression on your face that you can let melt away. And then returning to the present moment, breathing in and a longer breath out. Just having chance to slow down and stop in this amazing pregnancy journey. Because although it is amazing, often we're very busy getting ready, sometimes there can be aches and pains. So just having this moment to come into the present moment and be with what is. Seeing if you can be quiet, having some time to yourself with your baby. Okay, and then when you come out of it, maybe roll the shoulders a couple of times. Let's come into the 4th position. So you're going to need to put your cushions behind you against the chair. Make sure your chair's against a wall or it won't move back. And then a cushion for your head. So I'm in quite an upright position. Let the head relax back. You don't want the lower back to be collapsing, so if it is, you might need another cushion. And then you've got the knees bent. And we're going to use the belt now. So you might have a yoga belt, so you can put the belt through and then back through the middle of the rings so that it's secure. Or you can just use a normal belt and then slide it up the legs to a point where it's not going to dig into the knees and be uncomfortable. So you're relaxing back, letting the knees fall out. So the legs are supported and we can really relax this deep muscle called the psoas muscle that attaches our spine to the thigh bones. So letting the knees fall out, arms can relax to the floor. Closing the eyes, Taking the awareness inwards, just surrendering to the moment. There's nobody that you need to please, there's nothing that you need to do. It's all about being, letting go, accepting this moment as it is. So if you find it helps, you can keep your focus on the breath, breathing in for 3 and breathing out for 4 or more. Should feel super easy. Breathing in, 1, 2, 3. Breathing out, 1, 2, 3, 4. Go at your pace. Let the knees keep dropping out to the sides. If you've got longer, you could always pause the video and stay here for as long as you like. Otherwise, if you slide the belt down and step your feet out, we're going to bring the soles of the feet together, knees dropping to the sides in a diamond shape. And if your legs are uncomfortable, too much opening in the hips, you can always pad with some cushions, and then hands coming to the thighs. So this is called the goddess pose. Taking a few more breaths here. Staying in the present moment. If you find the mind wanders off, as soon as you realise, just gently bring it back. You can bring your hands under your knees, help your legs come up. And if you've got time, you might put the cushions down and do a relaxation or a yoga nidra, a hypnobirth track. So you would lie on your left side with your knees bent, arms relaxed. But otherwise, getting on with your day. Thank you for joining me.